Good morning. Come on in, take a seat, get cozy and comfy. It's Tuesday morning, and we're ready to start the day in a happy way.
I'm Allison.
I'm Cinnamon. So I thought we would start today's Chit Chat section of our show with a question.
All right.
What is your favorite part about living in a cabin at the edge of the woods?
My favorite thing is a funny little story about the very first night that we were both in this cabin. The very first night, May 2020. No street lights, no major lights, no lights. I don't even know if we had electricity yet.
I'm sure we did.
It felt dark. It felt dark. But the main thing is, as I fell asleep on my pillow, and I'm in the bedroom that's closer to the front yard.
My bedroom is up against the woods.
The forest. But as I was falling asleep, I heard 6 babies screaming and howling. That's what it sounded like.
I thought it was hyenas. It sounded like hyenas. It sounded like hyenas to me. I honestly thought, are there hyenas in the mountains?
It was terrifying. So my favorite thing about living in a cabin in the woods, basically, is now, that's my lullaby. That puts me to sleep. It's the sound of the coyotes howling at night.
The coyotes howling, then Max answering
hunting the feral cats, basically, going after the, hopefully not. I love being close to nature. I feel like I lived almost 2 decades in LA and was probably going to live there forever through retirement. It never even occurred to me to live elsewhere because my work is in LA. And now I really feel like this was a little blessing that pulled me out of a Stockholm syndrome situation, because I'm like, oh, it didn't even occur to me. You can live in a place and be back to nature and still continue working. I try to hike or spend some time. I call it a wander versus a hike, but some time in the forest every single day.
Yeah, and at the end of today's episode, you're going to show a discovery you made.
I did.
On such a wonder.
And it wasn't a bone discovery, which is often the discovery. We found so many skeletal remains.
Carcassi.
But no, it wasn't that. It was something very special.
What is the plural of carcass?
It's not a word I want to know.
Alexa, what is the weather today?
Right now in Big Bear Lake, it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Throughout the day, you can expect more of the same, with a high of 74 degrees and a low of 38 degrees. Also, there's an air quality alert in effect until Monday, September 25th, 12 a.m.
What's an air quality alert? What's an air quality alert?
Is there a forest fire in the area?
Wait, what is an air quality alert? I noticed I got an alert on my phone. Yesterday about air quality, and
why would they have it up here in the mountains?
Let's find out in real time. What is an air quality alert in Big Bear? What is an
what would it be about? Because there's nothing around us. We're literally like, oh, it's due to wildfire smoke.
But where is there wildfire? Wait, I actually had the thought yesterday when I was driving around that it smelled like someone was barbecuing. I'm not even joking.
The South Coast AQMD has issued an air quality alert due to increased fine particulate matter from wildfire smoke in the region. But where is there wildfire? I hope it's not in our backyard. Literally, it was. Was it last year or the year before? Where the wildfire, we could see it from our back. We had to evacuate. She's going to tell us to wrap up, and we haven't started yet. We'll have to post-prod, insert information slide here. So insert slide, this is where we found out there was a wildfire, and we'll just insert it there. And so the word of the day is words of the day. We're doing uplifting, kind of cozy, foresty, autumnal quotes. There was one that was by Anonymous that said, when the weather drops from 90 to 55, it's like it saw a state trooper. That's not the one I chose, but I thought that was funny. So
that is funny. I realized I forgot to do a tea this morning. So
I just put water in here. I'm not drinking it really.
Is it every person for themselves, I see?
I wondered if you'd think that, but I wasn't sure what you wanted, so I didn't want to make assumptions.
That's what one would think when they have an empty
I didn't want to make assumptions. I think I said, and maybe you weren't listening, I think I said, I'm getting myself water.
No, I think there's a kind of assumption when you don't fill someone's cup.
I said, I'm getting myself water. Crickets, and I was like, okay, Allison probably has something else in mind for her. Shall we pause here and get you some water?
Nope.
Okay.
If I sound a little dry, I apologize in advance.
So today's quote is from Albert Camus.
Oh, Albert Camus, the French existentialist.
And he says, autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower.
Oh, isn't that
Isn't that
beautiful?
That's so true. Autumn is a second spring, and every leaf has a flower. Like, it's so beautiful out. It's just so colorful.
Very cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And that's from someone who doesn't like Camus very much. I had to read a lot of him. I have one of my degrees is in French, and I had to read a lot of Camus.
A
And,
lot of Albert
and when you're forced to read someone, you just don't like them as much ever after. So not a
Ever
huge fan.
after, ever after, did wish come true. Did. That's from Into the Woods. I was in Into the Woods. A story from another time. Okay. From another time for another time.
I've written in the tiniest little
MC.
handwriting.
You don't even need to worry about it.
I was going to say,
got it.
in the tiniest little handwriting, though, I have written the schedule that's been planned for today, so I would know what was going on.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, if you keep seeing me, I'm afraid they keep seeing me do this, and I wanted to tell you what I was doing.
Okay.
I'm just looking.
And you don't need to, because I've got it right here.
All right.
So now we're going to talk about current events. Current events.
If you like your raisins, you'll like current events.
Hey! Ah!
And don't forget the current events this week is very local.
Very local. So I thought I would just announce some of the goings on.
Oh, did we do Wildlife Watch? We didn't do Wildlife Watch.
Wildlife Watch. If you like raisins, you'll love Wildlife Watch.
This one, I'm going in blind on this one, but with a lot of just trust.
That's what I said for you to watch the video. You didn't watch the video?
Spoiler alert. When I said I'm going in blind, what I meant is...
What? You didn't watch the video?
I haven't watched it yet.
Allison!
I received an alert that said, sorry, Teddy, don't be offended.
Even Teddy's upset. Teddy's like, you did Allison.
I received an alert. Okay, Teddy, I'll explain.
Ted.
I'll explain.
Teddy wants to go outside.
One
Can you just
sec.
let him outside real quick?
No, I can't. I'm trapped. I'm
but
trapped.
You're not more trapped than I am.
Look, I'm oh.
All right, let's pause. Getting Allison water.
All right, so I'm not going to this blind anymore. I'm so glad I watched the video first, because here's the situation. As you're watching now, that is a giant bear. But here comes the coyote, and notice how the bear freezes. The coyote looks over its shoulder, acknowledges the bear. There seems to be like a wagging of tail or a greeting of sorts. And this is the second time we've seen a giant bear and a coyote.
Yeah, do you think that they're friends?
I wonder if they're friends of sorts. Because
it's like the Odd Couple.
Why do we keep seeing this bear and this coyote together? This is the second time.
That's sweet.
This season
that that someone has reported in our area.
A bear and a coyote together. And the coyote does not look alarmed. The bear looks a little frozen, but that frozen could also be like, you tell me, is that an alarmed bear or a where are we going next?
That's kind of cool.
They might be working together.
Lovely.
Little odd couple.
Do you notice, speaking of odd couple, I got you some water.
Huh?
I got you some water.
Why is it blue?
Look, it's blue. Well, your cup is blue. It's not blue per se.
Wait.
Why is it blue?
It's very blue.
I used it from the... I used it from our water.
Someone's trying to poison me. Mark down the date on this. And
why is it blue though? What did you have in your cup before that?
I don't know. That's very thoughtful, Sin. Thank you so much. But it looks
blue.
And there's a little bit of like you see the little.
Well, that's just because you still had hot chocolate in it. But hot chocolate's not blue, so I don't know.
Very blue. I almost want to. I don't know.
I'm editing this. Any cries for help will be edited out.
Oh, my pen ran out of ink again. You know, these are old pens.
So today's current events.
If you like your raisins, you like current events.
So today's current events.
Don't use that one. I don't like singing on camera. The other one was a little more of a patter song, but that was a little too.
I'm going to edit as little as I need to. I just like to keep the integrity of the show as much as possible and not really cut it up and piecemeal it. Nice. Moving on. So for today's local events, I'm just going to tell you some goings on happening in our area.
And this will be my first time hearing these, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I thought this would have a neat...
Bring us all in for this. I'm going to pretend to sip my blue water.
Today they're doing a little succulent DIY, make your own little succulent garden box.
Like on a cruise ship, they have a activity?
Yeah, a little activity. But
there's an activity for free you can go to?
I don't know if it's for free.
Oh,
I don't know, because they have candle making later on in the week.
Is there a buffet?
It's $45 a person for that. So I don't know that it's for free. I didn't click on it to learn more. Most of these events you can find, they're in the area, but most of them are reported on in greater detail with sign-ups and times. And if you're in the area, it's bigbear.com. Go to events. But so things happening. This one I think is a freebie if I understood it correctly. You're getting a phone call from Lily. Should we pause? That's our sister. We got to pause for this. Is where I will pause.
And we're back.
And we're back. So the angle might be a little bit off because we had to take Allison's phone down to take a phone call from Lil. Shout out to Lil, our sister, our other sister, my other sister, our only sister, my second sister.
Too much. It's just a sister.
How do I say it?
Our sister Lily called, and she calls rarely, so when she does, we answer.
We stop everything.
She's just organizing a
Including
Zoom for
filming.
tonight. We're going to Zoom. That's neither here nor there.
All right, so here's what's happening in the area this week.
Oh, good.
Okay, we have the Gold Rush Mining Company is hosting a ghost town, complete with a ghost town scavenger hunt. Panning for gold.
Oh, I want to go to this.
You can be jailed in their jail, and they have a pay dirt
Here is your reminder.
cemetery.
Ladies, it's time to wrap up.
Thank you, Alexa.
There was a phone call in between. So
Alexa, thank you.
we still have a little time.
Absolutely. Happy to help. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon.
Well, it's Tuesday.
It's not Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Okay.
That sounds very fun. So that's in the area?
Yeah.
All right. And is it like daily or one day only, or what is that? Well,
so bigbear.com
we'll
is
into
where you
that.
can get more details. But it's definitely this week.
I will definitely look
Also,
that up.
this week is Oktoberfest at Wyatt's.
We're going to go tomorrow.
It goes through till November 5th. Oh, I should point out that the Gold Rush, at the Gold Rush Mining Company hosting their ghost town is from now until October 31st.
So it is a daily thing, not just
Excuse me. Ladies, time to wrap it up.
She's getting a little
Thank
stroppy.
you.
A little
Thank
stroppy there. A little bit.
She thought they didn't hear me, so I got to be firm.
That she
But that's
did.
okay.
I got chills.
That's the AI trying to assert themselves. And here, let me give you a little tip. You don't take direction from an AI. That's a slippery slope that you don't want to start down, my friend. There's the candle making I mentioned. That's being
Wow. I said there's so
held
much.
this week. There's a bunch
It only took us 3 years to start looking up
at
this
the
stuff.
events calendar. Well, to be fair, there wasn't an events calendar during the 2 years of the pandemic.
Okay,
so
all right. Well,
but and then
better
they have-
late than never.
The zoo is having a twilight safari complete with hot
Wait.
chocolate.
Outside the weather, na, 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 na,
Jingle bells, jingle bells,
jingle all the way.
What? Max, if you could just stop for a second. There. He does know how to stop on cue. That wraps up
Those are current events. Okay.
All right, coming up next.
Well, so one of the things that we learned you have to do when you don't live in a city that has 70-something degree weather a year round is you have to winterize a little bit. And so this is about the time of year. You'll see we have started switching out our curtains from our summer sheer fun curtains to our thick double layered thermal curtains that just keep that wind chill to a minimum inside the cabin. We use really thick curtains so that it does actually cut down the breeze quite a bit at night and insulates the house. And then we also bring in Cinnamon's plants because they become indoor plants during
the cold months.
The winter.
When it starts freezing at night, which it's happening. It's getting there. But I've got a lot of house plants.
Well, I do vegetables. I'm a gardener as
Yes.
well. Yeah.
Yes, true.
I do tomatoes, peppers.
My first home.
None that actually come to fruition because of those damn squirrels. You can beat that out.
They must need it more than you, Allison.
I guess they just grabbed my last pepper this morning.
Well, they were just excited. They're like, ooh, something that's not hard like a
They're
nut.
like, something for the harvest. Guess what, guys? Unlike nuts, that pepper will be spoiled within 24 hours.
But I used to, when I was a teacher, my first homework assignment would be, it started in Germany because I didn't have a car in Germany. I used public transportation, and I wanted to have lots of green in my classroom because in Germany, where I was living was way up north, and so we
You're
had
like 3 hours of daylight.
I would go to school in the dark and go home in the dark. So I would have my first homework assignment be for my students to each bring in a plant for them to care for in the classroom. And then we would have like a class job of gardener, and they would water the plants each week. But anyway, so our room would have at least 22 plants, if not more, depending on the size of the class. But over the years, there were 1 or 2 plants left behind at the end of each school year. So a lot of my little plants, I look at, I'm like, oh, this was a plant from so-and-so.
I didn't know that, so that's my first time hearing
sadly, many of them have not made it through the Big Bear temps because of the extreme really warm during
I
the
do
day.
remember. I remember our very first week moving here in the cabin, and we had so many a botanical garden of plants that we were bringing from my place in LA, Sin's place in Newport Beach, mainly Sin's place, and we filled the front balcony. It was May, we were thinking, so we filled the front balcony with all of our joint plants, and almost immediately, as almost a welcome wagon, the neighbors from across the street, everyone came like racing over within 24 hours, and I was like, we saw your plants. You're going to want to bring those in at night. And this was May.
And sure enough,
they all died.
Yeah, many of them. Well, so this year I actually have already done the drive down to Mom and Dad's to deposit the 7 remaining plants.
They live in the desert,
because they live in warmer climates. But it'll get cold there, but they still have a couple months. And then
anyway, winterizing the cabin, getting ready for the cold seasin. I have to say up here, tell me if you agree. We love autumn and we love spring, but those are the quickest seasons up here. Would you agree that
oh, they're very quick.
There's no neighbor waiting.
And so that's winterizing the cabin, and now some show and tell. I'm going to read a little poem I wrote about autumn. If anyone's listening to this, dibs. I'm using this to make a children's book. So this is copyright.
Here, sit up a little bit so that you're
copyright Cinnamon Sparks.
I'll take
the following poem, and this will serve as legal notice. Warm and toasty, comfy, cozy, lovely autumn feels. Pumpkin spice, hot cider, nice. And hot soup for our meals. Apple pie, built a fire, sigh. A pickup truck for wheels. Football passes, plaid for the masses, and fall leaves under heels. Cider donuts, pumpkin pie cuts, candy corn and squeals. Trick-or-treating, teachers meeting, children making deals. Shorter days, holiday plays, filming for our reels. Fall is here, Christmas is near, and laughter comes in peals.
Very good.
That's all show and share. I'm gonna start working on the illustration. That's embarrassing.
Is it?
So, Allison, what is your show and share today?
Oh, well, first of all, that was a lovely poem.
Oh,
and I really enjoyed
that.
My show and share is when I was walking in the forest once upon a time, I chanced upon a swing, literally in the middle of the forest. It's my favorite spot when I just want to do a wander, not a hike, but just sometimes I just want to go in. It takes 15 minutes round trip from our back door.
Round trip?
Yeah, 15 minutes. And so I go to the swing. And the thing is, if you've seen our previous episodes, we've talked about how Max has very strong feelings about me being on the string. He gets a little bit... Did I say string? What's that?
The swing is on a string. It's on 2 strings. Well, chords made of multiple strings, but...
Well, Max has very strong... I'll let you cut that part out. But Max has very strong feelings about me being on this swing. So he gets a little overprotective. I think he thinks it's going to like catapult me into the stratosphere. So he tries to pull me off the swing.
He really does. But on that note, have a wonderful Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good, do good, and Lovey, we love you. And
thinking of you, Lovey. Remember, do unto others
as you would have them do
unto you.
With a little jingle, a little punctuated by Max.
Max and his tile.
Not mad. Let's go grab lunch. We're off to Oktoberfest.
We're going to Oktoberfest. We'll show you
about it tomorrow. I'm excited.
Gotta get my lederhosen.
Gotta get my veggie sausages.
Actually, we'll braid my hair maybe just to be silly.
How are you gonna braid your hair?
We'll figure it out. You'll see tomorrow.